So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back to another video. If you're new to Hot Toys collecting, if you haven't been in the game for many years, there's a good chance that you've probably gone back to the secondary market and bought an older figure, caught up on something you missed out on the first time. A lot of the time that works out, depending on the price you bought it at, depending on how old the figure is. Most of the time it works out, but there are instances where it may not be the best idea. So in this video, we're going to be talking about older figures and if you should buy them. Now, there are a ton of variables that go into this. Of course, as I said, depends on when the figure came out, depends on the materials that it's made of, depends on the individual figure itself, how it was stored, the collector who bought it initially. It's hard to just say yes or no. So I'm going to try to break it down as best I can, give you my experiences on buying older figures, give you some advice, and hopefully by the end, you got a pretty decent answer. So for me, when I started collecting Hot Toys, I was only buying new figures that were on sale from Sideshow. My first 4 or 5 figures were just ones that were on daily deals, 20, 25% off. It wasn't until later on that I started thinking, I really like that character, I really like that figure. There isn't one of those in stock. I'm going to have to go backwards and get it. Now, if you're buying a Clone Trooper or Stormtrooper, 9 times out of 10, you can just rule that out as being fine. As long as nothing's broke, as long as it's, in its package, there's nothing that's going to degrade. You don't have to worry about material flaking or wrinkling or whatever. It's armor with a fabric undersuit. So you should be good. And I really have no qualms about buying older Trooper figures. But when it comes down to figures that are made of pleather, have rubber components, that's when you should really think about, is Hot Toys going to make this figure soon? How old is the particular figure? How is it stored? How bad do I want it? Can I wait? There's a lot that goes into it. So the most expensive figure I've bought in the secondary market, going backwards, was my Dark Side Anakin. The reason I paid the premium price I did, which of course, it's pretty expensive, all things considered, for being a 6-7-year-old figure now. But the reason I paid more than a lot of other listings is because it was essentially brand new. I mean, based off all the photos I could see, it had all the plastic. It had the plastic that goes underneath the hair sculpt, which if you've seen any of these figures or have them, the sculpted hair on that particular figure is very rough. It's not like the softer hair sculpts we see today. So anytime you articulate the neck, it's eating up that, the fabric of the cloak or the tunic, whatever. This was mint condition. I mean, I don't know what the guy did. He must have just not messed with it. But I didn't want to buy somebody's beat up, hand-me-down figure, especially, of a figure that I wanted the entire time I started collecting. So in that instance, it worked out for me. I mean, it's up here on my shelf, and it's, like I said in other videos, it's a glorified statue. I'm probably never going to mess with it. In that instance, it was it was a win for me, the price aside. Recently, if you've watched any of my shorts, I purchased the 2011 Classic Predator MMS 162. Classic me, something comes out, I go back for the older figure. I'm still waiting on Feral Predator. So I was wanting a Predator to hold me over. I'm impulsive, don't ask why. A figure comes in, there are some things wrong with it. It's a 14-year-old figure. I think that is to be expected a lot of the time. Now, this is a personal thing for me. I have hella OCD when it comes to these figures. If anything's wrong, it's going to eat me up. That's all I'm going to think about is, man, that's really bothering me. Well, I bought it, and a week later I sold it. It wasn't that bad. It was a me thing, but I would just rather be done with it, wash my hands of it, and wait for Feral Predator. So in that instance, it was just not a good move for me. I mean, live and you learn, right? Now, when it comes to buying older figures with pleather, for example, Darth Vader, I bought the Rogue One Darth Vader because I was going to put a genuine leather suit on it. When I got that Darth Vader in, it was starting to peel, starting to flake. Just keep that in mind anytime you go back for a Darth Vader or any other figure with pleather components, depending on how old it is. And if you don't have the means to replace that pleather component, you're probably going to have to live with, a rotted piece of material. That may be fine. There's ways to fix it, at least make it look better. But I know if that was me, it would drive me crazy. I mean, there's even times where a figure is in the box for years on end, and you may think, well, it's never been displayed, it's never been opened, it's mint. Well, If it's a Jedi figure and it's got its robe on, there's a good chance that that robe bled into the outer tunic. If it's got pleather or rubber components, there's a good chance that it rotted in that box, whether it's sealed or not. So these are things to be conscious of. I would never buy an older figure that is sealed in box, because there's a very good chance that while it may be fine, if they're not opening that thing up and inspecting it and showing me pictures, that makes no difference. Hot Toys is very different when it comes to value mint in box versus value displayed, because as long as the figure is in good condition and it's been displayed by a professional, hasn't been kept in somebody's garage getting covered in dust, it's probably going to hold its value pretty much the same. I see no difference when it comes to mint and sealed box or just a used figure. So to wrap this video up, should you buy older figures? You can't say yes and you can't say no. It just depends on the figure and you as a collector. You want something bad enough and there's only one that was released 10 years ago, it's really all there is. I mean, you can sit and hope Hot Toys revisits it, but prime example, Ellen Ripley from Alien. It's not a bad looking figure, but if you were to compare it to today's standards, it would definitely look like a 2.0, but it's the only one there is. So it holds its value. I mean, it goes for $500, $600, $700. If I was to look for one and buy one, I certainly wouldn't pay that price for it, but I would want to guarantee it is at the highest quality possible in order to get, my money out of it. Advice to you is make sure you really want the figure. Make sure there isn't a newer, slightly different version that could be a stand-in. Try to have a good idea. I know we can't predict these things. If Hot Toys is going to 2.0 it recently, I feel bad for anybody that bought the DX10 or DX13 prior to the new Terminator 2.0s. Some people don't go backwards at all. Some people, if they're new to the game and they want older figures, they're going to have to go get them, It depends on the figure. It depends on you as a collector. And my advice is just use discretion. You don't want to buy something and be unhappy with it, especially if you pay secondary market premium for it. That's the worst thing. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not fun when you buy a figure, get it in, see that it's not what you expected, and you don't want it anymore. It's ruined on you. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. How many figures have you gone backwards to get? What's your opinion on buying used figures or older figures? Do you only get what comes out new, and I'm not going backwards because I don't want to get hit with that 2.0. I don't want to pay premium secondary market prices. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.